discussing the Strengthfinders. And that book is dedicated to Donald O. Clifton, who's the father of, I believe, finding out the 34 themes that we're to be discussing. And with these 34 themes, we're determining whether or not these are the themes that you bring to your corporate environment. Currently, I'm co-hosting the show with Miss Gemini. She is our host. I am your co-host, Rassha, and we have our guest host, Dewey. Dewey, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Rassha. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. It's raining out here in California.
Same
I
in
don't know.
Kansas City too. It rained all through the night last night.
Okay. All right. So as we wait for Gemini to come back, if you are enjoying the corporate conversations that you're hearing, please definitely leave a comment, like, and hit that notification button so you can get all the updated posts that we have to share with you. So, Gemini, if you are back, okay, she's not back yet, but I guess we could start on the themes that we had discussed previously. And so last week we were on the I don't know if we didn't discuss the arranger, but we discussed the analytical. And so this week we'll be discussing beliefs. So, Jim, now how are you doing today?
Oh gosh, every time I hit this button, it feels like some weird karma every single time. Like, what is going on?
Mhm.
But I'm here. I've had a very long work week. You know, um, Dewey doesn't know, but I can celebrate this. Remember the last time we were talking, I was telling you about a new promotion that I had gotten.
Oh,
But here's the tea. It got rescinded, right?
Yeah,
So
that's not
Wednesday, I get the offer, and by Friday, it's rescinded because the person who made me the offer got into a bit of and so
trouble.
that changed everything.
mm,
That changed everything. So I just went back to my old position, did me. You know what it is? I'm popping. I'm popping at work. It doesn't matter to me, right? So, my integrity is Teflon. So even if I were to be demoted and had to sweep floors, I'd still be popping. I'd be the most poppinest sweet street sweeper, cracking, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I go back and I'm like doing my job. I'm like doing me. And then yesterday I get another job offer for a promotion. This time it's definitely going through and I'm real excited. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the tea on that. Even though, because I just did some research, and this is to everyone that's out there listening, just because you get offered a job, you have to do your research on it. You have
Do
to.
your
So I
research.
did the research on it. It's a perfect fit, right? It's a perfect fit. I mean, like, if I never got offered a great more research. Ah, I'm thinking I'm making more money because it's a level up. And
That's good.
then I go to our pay chart and it's a level down. It's a level up, but the pay is down, y'all. The
Mm,
pay is down. So
mm.
even though it's a better title, it's a
mhm.
higher title, I'll be over my team will be, I'll probably have about because this down in submission and processing, right? So that
Oh,
how it is down that way. Yeah. So I
oh,
probably have 100 people that I'm over, right?
it's busy down there.
599 is
Mhm.
busy, right? And so
Yeah.
I'll have a super large team that I'm over, and everything panned out except the pay, y'all.
So you saying
I just
are
have
you
to put that
saying
out
that
there
are you saying the paycheck doesn't match up with the position?
at all. At my
That's
grade is higher, my everything is higher, but my pay is lower. Is that
What
not
about
wild?
negotiation? Have you
that's
tried to negotiate that?
You know what? I hope I have time to.
I
because he
believe you
needed to
should, because if
be
it's in the
he
beginning stages.
because well, he gave me the firm offer yesterday, right? So
Mhm.
I won't know what it is until Monday. But I did the research, and that's what I found. So I would, for everybody, I mean, because it's almost like you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can only have some of your cake and eat it too. This is what you
Yeah.
learn, right? This,
Mhm.
everything is not what you want it to be, but everything is still fair because
Yes.
I need
Right.
this time and grade to level up to the next position. The next
Mm,
position from this, the pay will be twice. But just think,
Oh,
I'd have to
okay.
do what, a year and a half
mm,
Mm,
in this position, a year and a half to
mhm.
level up to the next.
mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it speaks so much to just making sure that you're
So
putting your best foot forward in any position that you take on. Just making sure that you're bringing your best, you're doing your best, and you're doing your research to make sure that this job actually fits with you, with your personality trait.
I'm telling you,
Mhm,
and I probably wouldn't have taken it, Rasha, if
mhm.
what the work that I would be doing if it wasn't a good fit. This is more than a good fit. This is a great fit. I'll excel in this position.
Right.
Great.
I'll be popping in this
That's
position.
awesome. That's amazing. And then I know that sometimes there are positions that you have to take a lower grade in order to get a higher grade.
Yeah.
So it works out in
Yes.
the long run. It
Yeah.
works.
Exactly. Yep. Sure does. So, yep. It'll be good. The experience will be good too. You'll get the experience, and that definitely probably help propel you like to really where you wanting to go or trying to go. So yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, because the goal was just really to level up and like make some more money. But
Hmm.
sometimes when you're leveling up, the position that you are working in doesn't fit. So you struggle,
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're struggling? Like who's going to be there? And for our kind of jobs, no, there's no training. There is no cushion. There's no
Mhm.
safety net. You on your own. You better
Sink or
figure it
swim.
out.
Sink or swim.
Yeah. It's the name of
Sink
the
or
game.
swim. Come on.
Sink or swim.
Name of our game. So this position again, fits like a glove, like it
That's
was
amazing.
created just for me. And lo and behold, the pay, I will be making less money. Crazy. Higher
Yeah.
grade and less money. Who does that?
Is this position permanent
Mm-mm-mm.
or
Do we? So what?
temporary? Is it like a
No, this is
detail for
perm.
you?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
this is the perm position.
It's
Like I said,
it's
the
perm.
experience, the experience is going to help you out a lot in the long run. It
Yes.
really is.
But make sure to check in and make sure you negotiate.
Yeah, yeah.
Closed mouth won't get fed.
A closed
Amen.
mouth will not get
It's a universal
fed.
slogan. So
Bam.
true. Yep. Mhm.
I think what I'm gonna do on Monday, because again, he made that firm offer. So I had to go and I had to sit here and take it. I
Yes.
didn't have to take it, but I wanted to take it because again, it'll
Right.
put me in a new area, right? And again, I'll have lots of people, under me, and I'll really get a chance to, shine in this area. It's like, wow,
Mhm.
we have someone coming from upstairs, coming back downstairs to the general population of people to manage. And you already know it's a lot. We know it's a lot. At our campus, ooh wee baby. It's like get ready. If
Will
Mhm.
you
you
be?
And once
You
ever
be?
thought you could manage, this is gonna put you to the test.
Will
right.
you be down? You be down on the second floor, won't you?
Yes.
In submission processing. Yeah, because I just
Yes.
wanted to add as a footnote. Someone was telling me that the IRS is looking to hire 1,000 more people for this coming, tax season, and that's why they're having those job fairs where they're doing because they're so that place is. I guarantee you, probably
Yeah,
around.
no, I got my no, but they're not looking for managers though, do we? I got
Oh,
my
okay.
I have a maybe baby that's out there, right? And so
Uh-huh.
I got the mom of that maybe baby a position, one of those positions where they were the hiring 1,000 people. Don't forget,
Right.
we're internal. When we get hired from job to job, we
Right.
are getting hired internal. They
Internal.
hired 1,000 externals.
Right.
That is
Exactly.
completely different.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you're
Yeah.
going to hire 1,000 external people, you are going to need managers, period. You're not going to get
Right.
managers from the outside. You're going to go internal and look
That's
for them all,
right. Mm-hmm. True that. So true. Mm-hmm.
And so this is this is like the wow of the wow,
Wow.
and I'm just like, ooh, wee, boy, surprise, surprise. So, you know what I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be completely transparent. You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that um all of the other positions that I've put in for too,
Mm-hmm.
another one pops up on Monday
There you
and
go.
Tuesday and
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. I'm hoping that I'll have options before week's end, if that
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the main
because
thing
I,
that
I
you gotta focus on is just making sure that you put those options out there so when they come back, you're ready for them. And so what a lot of people don't realize, they're languishing in these positions. They're saying, "Oh, I wish I could do something different. I want to do this and I want to do that. I wish I could, have more money." But then they're not putting those applications out there. They're not making sure that their application is spruced up with all of the things that they are doing. If they're doing extra details or making sure that they're doing um, different things in the team that will help them to get more of a grasp on the job, that they are making sure that their skills are getting leveled up so that when those positions come available, that they're ready. They can do details. They can do anything that could help them just make sure they're looking more hireable to those that are higher up. So just making sure you put your best foot forward is a major importance. No matter if you're in a beginning position, if you're entry level position, if you're journeyman level, just making sure that you're ready to go when it's time to go.
Yeah. Right.
you
Well
know what's
said.
so interesting? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Dewey, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, no, she's right. She's absolutely right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what's so interesting? That we're going to go into the PowerPoint right now, the presentation. Belief, isn't that what we're all? It fits right with the theme.
It does. It
Yeah, yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. It goes with the theme. So let's do it, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. This is gonna be good. I really like this. Let me share my screen because that's something I'm not doing. Clicking buttons without sharing. Who does that? Okay. Oh, did I click it? Click and share.
Okay, let's see. Looks like something's getting ready to come up.
Okay. Are y'all
There
able
we
to
go.
see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Oh no, that's the wrong one, y'all.
It's the wrong one. Mm.
hmm
Yeah,
That's
okay.
command. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here we go.
There we go, believe.
Right here. Mm-hmm. Oh, I tell you, y'all supposed to be having a system back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Believe. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Right? So there's the book that if for those who are just tuning in, we are using a book called Strengthfinders from Gallup. It is by Don Clifton. And Strengthfinders has 34 themes that focuses on your strengths instead of your weaknesses, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it is the belief that focusing on your strength will help you be stronger within your workplace or your work environment. It'll
Mm.
absolutely help you find where you fit in. And if you work for a corporate job, it will help you um, fit in. It will help you find what area and other departments that may be a good fit for you. And if you're working a regular job, it will help you deal with your customers, deal with people a lot better because you understanding yourself, which allows you to understand others. So it doesn't matter what job place that you work in or what work environment you come from. It's just the being honest about who we are as a people. So the next time we see a person, they don't bother us as much because we will begin to understand that people come with strengths, not weaknesses. So if you have a very talkative person, that's not a weakness. That's communication. That is a strength. If you have a person who is very friendly, very, outgoing, this person may exhibit, an activator where they get things going. So
Mhm.
you are able to rearrange your staff and place them in positions where they can be of a stronger help to you. And this is a strength. And this is why we are going through this series, Strengthfinders. You can get this book on Amazon, new or used. It's about $9. I think I've seen the highest being about $16 out there on Amazon. It comes with an assessment at the back of it, which is really nice because it'll help you find your strengths as well, the themes that fit you. And
Mhm.
yeah, and this is good. Rasha, before we start, did you do the assessment yet?
I did the assessment and I had the assessment of context. Let me see what else I had. I had
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's going to go get it. You went to go, you pulling up the entire thing?
no, I'm trying to find what I took a snapshot of. Hold on. But go ahead
Okay.
and continue and I'll pull it in there when I find it because I
Okay.
was
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to it because I want to hear about it most def. So this is the theme this week of belief. So people with strong belief and talents are a wellspring of powerful drive and direction. They provide clarity, conviction, and stable values.
hmm
So the definition of a person with a theme with the theme of belief. They are exceptionally talented. We already said that. They have certain core values. They are unchanging. And out of these values emerge a defined purpose for their lives. And I like the way that expresses that because we're talking about a workplace environment, right? And so
hmm
you have some people, honestly, with the belief that they belong at that job place. They believe that, hey, where I'm at, I am making a difference. I don't know how many people can say that, but there are some that really feel that way. So I like when it says, out of these values emerge a defined purpose because no matter where you are, you're supposed to be having that right there across the board, wherever
hmm
you find yourself at in any job situation, from janitor to justice. You have to find, you have to define a purpose and give it a value so that you can either move on from that particular job or make that job work for you as best it can. So if you possess a strong theme of belief, you have a certain core value that's enduring. So these values can vary from person to person, from another to another, but ordinarily the belief theme causes you to be family oriented. Number one, altruistic,
hmm
spiritual, and to value the responsibility of others. And you have high ethics for yourself, and you have a high expectations for others, right? High ethics and expectations for others. So as we can see here in this chart here, there's the creating a healthy families, right? That's that family oriented. We have excellent service, right? Individually tailored care and striving for success. What do you guys think about that?
Um, okay, right now I'm looking at values are like fingerprint. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do. And I really believe that to be true. Yeah, because it's all about, making an impact and how you affect other people's lives, like you said, with your core values and everything and your beliefs and everything. So, you know, you lead by example,
Mhm.
and with that, what you do truly has an effect on other people and how they see it. Like you say, whether it's within your family, your immediate family, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in your neighborhood or anything, what you do, people are watching,
Right.
and a lot of them are emulating you. So yeah,
Yes, I'm glad you hit on that. Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's where
because I was going there because that's the way I see that when it says values are like fingerprints. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over the place. Meaning that, people, and I think I had this conversation with Sakina too, recently, where we were talking about people, um we think that people are not watching what we do and who we are and our movements, but they are. And a lot of times, depending on the environment that we're in, a lot of people don't believe in modifying behavior. They
Mhm.
don't believe in it. They believe in I do what I want to do. I say what I want to say. I go. I do this. I. But to be quite honest, when you are a person like that, that's still a fingerprint that you're leaving. And when you leave out of that manager's office, or when you leave, from your coworker, they're looking at you saying, "Wow, what a wild person! Wow, wow." Like this person has not a single value that I would emulate be- because they exhibit no self control or discipline within the environment that they're in at the time,
Mhm.
right? You have people who say, I don't respect authority. I don't respect nobody. I don't nobody, and I have a habit of saying, as soon nobody runs me but me. But then at the end of the day, I still make the choice to modify a behavior. And that behavior is not fake, right? That's what people will say when you start, acting differently in different places that you go. Oh, you're fake. Oh, I'm just being myself. Why are you so afraid to be yourself? You should just be yourself. These people, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. This is not that. Because you go and be yourself with that police officer. You be in handcuffs in 3.3 seconds. So your tone better come down. And you better act like you got some sense before you find yourself just in lockup with a bail, which means that's extra money. Of course, they're not going to throw you in jail, but they will take you down to the station. Getting out of the station takes bail. Bail is money. Who has extra money just to give because you couldn't modify your attitude at that time,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You just be aware of where your advice is coming from. Is this a reputable source? They have a saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Or when in whatever is done in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Then these same people that will quote these same little idioms there, they'll tell you, oh, she's fake and she's not acting like herself. She's not being real. But they'll sit back and watch the show, letting you be you, doing anything that you think that they will approve of. You cannot
Yeah.
go by the approval of those people because they will sit back and will not have your back. They'll be the ones saying, well, I would have said this and I would have said that. And they do not
Yeah.
say
They will
anything,
watch you fail
but they will
every
leave you
time.
there to bail
They
the
will watch
cat.
you fail.
They will
Yes, they
watch
will
you
watch you
fail and they
fail.
will watch this with popcorn, sodas, and everything else. Look, they'll have a group with them
And telling
and
you, oh
selling
yeah, you
tickets.
do you. You tell them, you do you. You don't let them push you around. No, 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 no. They're not pushing people around. They're not pushing me around. They're not pushing you around. But titles are everything, right?
Yes.
People still have that habit of saying, oh, it's just a title. They're nobody. Okay. Well, I want you to go up to Mr. and Mrs. Nobody. Let them know how you feel, and we'll see how that goes. Right? We'll see if you still have that job at the end of the day.
Mhm.
We'll still see if you have that, what that judge said. We will sit and see, because some places requires a modified behavior. So when it says, for me, nobody is the same, but you leave them all over everything that you do. You want to leave a good taste in people's mouth.
That's
You
true.
don't want to sit here and leave a horrible taste in a person's mouth because that's a fingerprint that you left over everything you did.
Well, you know
You
what?
know,
What LaShawn and Rassha, what you're saying is so very true. because the way I see it, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way in different environments. For example, you and I, we all work for the IRS. I can't come.
Dewey, thank you much for that. You always
Now, what's that?
you always say that,
Never
even though we ask you not to.
Say what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, he
Okay,
said
I'm
say
sorry.
what?
We'll leave out that part. I'm sorry, but now you just have to um, you have to conduct yourself a certain way in different environments. Like when you're in the work environment, you have to put on a different attitude, a different face per se. You out on the streets, you have to do that, or you in church, you have to. So, like we talk about the fingerprint thing, leaving your fingerprints behind. You know, there, like they say, the old philosophy says, there's a time and a place for everything, and there is.
For everything.
There is a
For
time and place for
everything.
everything. Yeah. So therefore, I know how to act or conduct myself in certain environments. I think we all have to learn that in life.
Yeah, so the
Yes.
level of maturity. So if you know that you have to go into the bank, you're going to conduct yourself in accordance that you will be able to draft your money out. You'll be able to speak to the teller in a specific way. If you have to deal with the bank president, you have to deal with them in a specific way. If you're going to the grocery store, you need to conduct yourself in a way that you will be able to get service properly. Maybe
Mhm.
if you're going to a fast food place, these people are working hard.
Yeah.
They don't need to have anyone badgering them or trying to belittle them. You want to speak to them in a way that you would want to be spoken to. So just keep that in mind when you come into these corporate environments, that you're not fake, you're not being trying to hide something. You're just acting in accordance of the environment around you, and that's something that you really have to pay attention to. What are these social cues? How come most of these people that are of other ethnicities can stay on code but you can't?
Oh,
Yeah.
Rashi, we're not going there. Stop.
Think
I'm
about
not
it.
letting you get away with that, sis.
They
No
stay
way.
on code.
We are not talking about us as the people.
I'm
Stop. Do
just
not do
saying.
that. You do not do that, because us as the people are right here with you
Yes,
today, conducting ourselves the way we're supposed to.
we
And
are.
lots of us do that all over the place.
That
So,
is
but
true.
that piece of pie right there says individually tailored care.
That's
And
right.
that's what you have to sit here and keep in mind, that you have to make sure that your values, right? You want to
Mhm.
leave, when people see you, when you leave out of a
Oh,
person's presence, you want to make sure that they're seeing you with the right
exactly.
value, because that
Oh yeah,
definitely can make or break the difference if you someone's trying to promote you,
that is very true because I
right?
used to have
Even in the
my
hallways, right? Are we going to talk about Rasha, are we
oh,
going to talk about the hallways, even in the hallways? What do you think about
even
that?
you
When
have to be
people
very
are away from
careful.
their
You don't
desk?
know who are friends with whom, who is related to whom. You don't know if this person, even a janitor, you don't know what information
Mm.
may get back to your superior based on a careless word. But like I said, I have a sign that says everyone brings joy to the office. Some when they enter and some when they leave. So when I see Gemini coming, I would say, oh, I like to work with her. She knows her stuff. She's always looking for ways to help. She's always give an encouraging word. I see Dewey coming. Oh, yeah, I can work with Dewey. Dewey has a plethora of information that he can provide. He's always there to assist. He's not trying to backstab me in the back or do things to make my job more tougher. But it's people, you have to realize you have a reputation, and you do not want to create a reputation where you stand out like a sore thumb
Mm.
and you stick it in your manager's side like a thorn. You do not want to have that
Wow,
reputation.
that's good. That's juicy, Rasha. I absolutely like that.
Mhm.
So let's take some look at some of these belief systems here. So, by definition, belief systems are structured sets of principles or tenets held to be true by individuals or larger groups, encompassing aspects such as morality, life's purpose, empirical reality. Um, Dewey or Rasha, can someone look up empirical reality? Let's see what that means. They
Empirical.
profoundly influence human behavior, shaping individual code of conduct, societal actions, values, and perceptions. Now, you have more than one belief system. So this just goes over the two right here, which is one is a religious belief system. These are belief systems that explains the origin of the universe, the existence of gods, plural, because they can't just say of God, because this is just only an explanation, only one explanation, right? So this does not cover everything. This only covers for what we're talking about today as a disclaimer for those who every time they hear the word religious, they got 10,000 extra words to say and can set out moral codes. You also have a political belief system. These are belief systems that explain how societies should be managed and governed and are often based on ideas about power and resource distribution.
So I'm looking up empirical reality, and it is the state of things as they are based on what is experienced or seen rather than imagined or theoretical. So you're not
Okay.
imagine what it is, what it is.
That's well
It is
defined.
what it is. Yeah.
Empirical reality. Okay. Yeah. The reality of it instead of like the fantasy of it. Yeah.
So empirical reality relies on the
true.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Evidence,
it relies on truths that happen to you.
practical
right?
experience rather than theories.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. Now, as far we talking about belief systems, right? Okay. Now let's look at. I'm gonna say this from a religious standpoint. I've always said that I respect everybody's belief system, and I respect their religion, no matter what it is. Okay, like for instance, like LaShawn and I pretty much share the same spiritual / religious beliefs. So, like for instance, like I wear my ankh every single day.
Dewey, speak for yourself. Make sure that in this work environment online that you are in first person.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll say.
Thank you, because because the reason I say that is because for me, all of my spiritual beliefs and anything else that I do and talk to anyone else about it is my personal. You need to ask me if we can talk about these things. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here and deny. You can put your values and religious beliefs out there, but I'm not going to put mine out there. And so people, again, this is why we have these types of conversations, because there is an etiquette that also goes along with workplace environment, religious environment, political environment. There is that unspoken language, right? And we don't know these things, then we just don't know these things, but we're having these conversations so that we can begin to see people differently, respect who we are, respect the strength about us all, and stop having these other types of conversations that are exclusive instead of inclusive.
Okay.
So like with to piggyback off what Dewey was saying, everybody has different beliefs, and sometimes I hear things that I don't agree with, but I am respectful about it. I don't have to argue it. It's something that I don't believe. If I don't ascribe to it, I just don't ascribe to it. But you have the opportunity to state your mind and speak your mind and feel how you feel about it. And you should feel like you are in a safe environment. You should not be ridiculed. You should not be taken to task because of your beliefs. You should be able to express yourself in a way that is of a harmonious, in a harmonious manner, to cultivate your work group experience in a positive light. So you can express your beliefs, but you don't have to, I guess, proselytize or try to convert someone because they don't believe the same thing you believe. You could just leave it as it is.
Okay. Yeah. So then what about people, because this is about the workplace, right?
Yeah.
So what about people who are in your work environment who are different from you? What about people, Islamic people, women and men and women? The women may wear a hijab, or we have Indian women. They may wear, they have the dot in the middle of their head. We may have, Hispanic people who are bilingual, but they speak more Spanish than they do English. In our workplace, we have lots of people who come from other countries who have different religious moral codes. What do you all think about that? How would you get along with
Bearing in
these
mind,
people?
you have to keep a level of respect. You cannot be flippant. You can't say colloquialisms that are good for, this particular setting, but are not good for other settings. Like, I think I was talking to someone on the phone and I wasn't paying attention to who I was speaking to. I said, well, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Something as simple as that can be taken as a disrespect. The lady was of Oriental descent, so she kind of chuckled about it, but I could have gotten in trouble behind that because I was not careful as to what I was saying. There are different things that people say during the course of frustration or the course of that they're having a difficulty with a specific issue. You have to be really careful with that because sometimes that thing that you say to yourself for a specific reason about yourself can bring offense to someone.
Can
I was
we
Well,
say EEOC? Go ahead, Dewey.
okay, like I said, I wear my ankh every day because I believe my belief system is such that I believe in African spirituality. I believe that the ankh is connected to African spirituality. Haven't gone to Egypt. Now, if I saw someone wearing an ankh, wearing a crucifix, wearing the Star of David, or even if someone was wearing a pentagram or whatever I would never question it. I would never make comments about it. I would never be degrading on because like I said, I respect everyone's beliefs and I respect everyone's religion. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
There are those that are just very inquisitive.
If you believe in this certain system of spirituality or religion or whatever it may be, I respect it. I will never question it. I will never ask you why.
Because it does come in the workplace. And so this is what we're talking about, right? These are conversations that are in the workplace, just like this next one, political, right? How many conversations have you all had about the Trump and Kamala situation and now the Trump and his cabinet situation?
Yeah.
Many, that's right.
Many,
and even though I will share this with you, it is technically when we had our ethics, our ethics training, it is against our policy to have these conversations in the workplace. But it's nothing they can do about it. People are going to talk anyways, and people are going to have a lot to say anyways. So understanding how to tame it, to modify your behavior, to modify what you're talking about so that you can have just enough conversation, not for it to get out of control, not for it to go anywhere else, and not for them to go run and tell upper management that, hey, they were talking about this and they were talking about that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just have to be really careful, especially with our department where we're dealing with the public directly. Try not to answer any political questions or affiliations. Try to make sure that if you're contacted by the media, that you defer them to our media department. And of course, we also have the Hatch Act, where you should not be doing anything while working in the capacity for a specific candidate or campaign. You can do it on your own time, but not during work time or in work attire. If you have something on that's affiliated with work, or you're driving a work vehicle, you should not be doing anything for any type of campaign candidate. So that's really important to just keep in mind. And then political views are personal views. Political views, you don't have to get upset about somebody going with this opposite candidate of yours. You don't have to get upset about somebody who believes that this particular party
People do get upset. So when we say you don't have to get upset, people get upset.
Show it.
This is why. Yeah, this is
Show
why.
it. Yeah.
People get very upset. This is why you have to know how to govern yourself and in your workplace.
That's
when
right.
people share a different political view than you. And you have to know how to literally walk away in the conversation and say, oh yeah, you know what? Hey, if that's what you believe about Trump, then hey, no, that's what you believe. This is a free country. And guess what? I will sit here and see you a little bit after lunch, or hey, I'll catch you on the next break, or hey, I'll catch you outside the smoke section, or I'll, you find some way to, cut that conversation short so that, you don't build up any animosity with people unbeknownst to you, because people do. And over there in that definition, if you see that, it says shaping individual code of conduct. That happens all of the time in workplace
Yes,
environments.
you have to
That's
move.
probably why these two go, pretty much hand in hand on how they can hit the 100-meter piss off button,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, you have to move with wisdom. That's what I'm seeing in the comments. And of course,
Yeah,
your
you
time is priceless. Your time is your time. And then you want to just be aware that everybody doesn't feel the same way as you feel. What kind of
do.
workplace would it be if
I was
everybody
thinking
felt the
the same
same
thing.
as me?
Right.
So, we need variety. We need
What
variety.
they
We
call
need
it diversity.
Mhm,
It
need
takes
diversity.
all kinds of people to make up this earth.
That's right.
mhm,
All kinds. So
mhm.
I don't, like I said, I don't try to get everybody to share my views and agree with me on everything. I've never been that type of person. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite the something, y'all. But okay, moving on. It says this consistency for people who have high belief in their theme. This consistency is the foundation for all of your relationships. Your friends can call you dependable. You know where you stand, and they say, right? This is what people, one of the values that people feel about you. I know where they stand. Your belief makes you easy to trust. Oh, that's deep, y'all. We have to talk about that. It also demands that you find work that meshes with your values. Your work must be meaningful and it must matter to you. And guided by your belief theme, it will matter only if it gives you a chance to live out your values. So, right here in this whole statement here, this is high
Hmm.
value. This is a high value because they add the word trust in there too. Your
Yes.
belief makes you easy to trust. So, are we then saying that a coworker who has a religious um standpoint or who comes from a religious background or who is religious, they're trustworthy? We believe that or no?
You definitely judge the book by what's in the book, not by the cover. Number one. Number two, how do you deal with this person if their belief is that they don't handle specific activities? So let's say if we're trying to have a Christmas party and there's someone who has the beliefs for Islamic or they're a Muslim, they don't believe in that particular holiday. So we need to reframe that to say, hey, let's do a celebration or let's just do a potluck. Even though
Mhm.
there may be some that are celebrating Christmas, there may be some that might celebrate different holidays that are not the same,
Mm-hmm.
that they can be included and not feel excluded. But
Mm-hmm.
the trust
Mhm.
factor deals with the person's character. How do I deal with you on a personal level? How do I deal with you on a corporate level? Are you trustworthy? Have I been able to trust you in the past? And will I continue to be able to trust you with different things? Not just because of necessarily your beliefs, but if someone puts their beliefs out there, you know exactly where you stand. So you can
Yeah.
trust them to act a specific way to specific things.
Mhm. Dewey, what do
Good
you
or
think?
bad.
Well, for
Do
again,
you think it's easy to trust people with a belief system or with a belief system or without a belief system?
well, I mean, there are people that stand firm behind their beliefs, and you know, but my thing, like I repeat myself, my thing has always been, whether it comes to myself or anyone else, no one should try to impose their beliefs off on other people. If
Right.
if, if someone believes a certain way, me personally, all I can say is I respect their beliefs. Especially
Mhm.
when it falls along the lines of being legal, ethical, and moral. So everybody is not going to believe the same thing. Everybody's not going to see things the same way. So that's what makes this world so diverse, and everyone has their own individuality. So if someone tells me, well, okay, good, is there someone tells me, oh, I believe in the big bang theory, I believe the universe was created by the big bang theory, and then someone say, no, it was God, it was the that universal force known as God who created the whole universe. Well, all I can say to that is, if you believe one way and this person believes another way, then some people may ask the question, who's right and who's wrong? But in the very
Mhm.
end, like I said, I do respect everyone's belief.
You know
May
what I
not
see?
may
You
not
know what I
always agree. I might not always agree with your beliefs,
Right.
but I do respect it.
Okay. You know what, and that's fair. That's fair enough.
Mhm.
When I see that word, your belief makes you easy to trust. I'm thinking automatically, this is about the way a person moves.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you don't see a person being backstabby at work, if you don't see a person
Disingenuous,
always running to upper management, yeah, exactly,
carrying
disingenuous.
bones, bringing
Yeah,
bones.
if you're not always, playing both, parts against the other, you're not being, you're not gossipy, and so that makes you easy to trust because who you are is who you are. It's going to stand out to any and everybody,
Yeah.
right? They're going to absolutely, it's going to be it's going to be a characteristic, a main characteristic within yourself. And people are able to see that because you're able to lie to yourself, but you're not able to lie to others because how you move is how you move.
You're right. Let
So
me say
people
this
get,
real quick.
hold
Mhm.
on, let me finish and let me land. So
Uh-huh.
when people see you,
Mhm.
they judge you right then and there. They put you in a category automatically.
Ugh,
So if you have a belief system,
on site.
most people that with stable foundational belief systems, they are
Mhm.
easy to trust.
Yeah.
They are. We have several of them. I can pick out several people within our workplace who have a strong religious belief, and they are trustable. They are easy to trust.
Mhm.
Trustworthiness. They are. I would have be inclined to agree with that statement right there. And what were you
Yeah.
saying, Dewey?
Real quick, my philosophy is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are the same way. I'm not looking at what you're saying. I'm looking at what you're doing.
Right.
It's more so believable with your actions than it is with your words. So I'm gonna go by
Yeah.
what you do more so than what you say.
Yeah,
So
that's a thing. Yeah, that's a real thing. I'm glad you brought that up because that
mhm,
is definitely a real thing. How you move and what people are seeing when you
yeah.
move. It goes back to that conversation we just had about to modifying your behavior in the workplace,
Mhm.
which you should. You should be putting that in practice. There's no such thing as I am just myself wherever I go and da 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 da. That
You
is
gotta be really careful with
bananas.
that because it's gonna
That
come
is
back to bite you.
bananas.
Come back to bite you in the end, especially
Oh
if
my
you have
gosh.
Uh,
inferior a belief that people are inferior than you because of their color, their race, their religious
Their
belief.
status, right?
It's
No,
gonna
just their
it's
their money status, right? I
there
mean, and yeah,
it's gonna come back to you. You have to be really
it is
careful with that.
it's going. I'm telling
It's
you,
gonna
it is
show.
a horrific, it's a horrific type of attitude and behavior that we have out here in these streets. It is
Right.
horrific
yeah.
So
to
you should
think
not
that I
be
can invite you. Hold on, Rasha. Listen, it's horrific to think
right.
that I can invite you to my space. I can invite you to work for me. I can invite you to my birthday party. I can invite you to my home. But I can sit here and pick up your application, hire you, only for you to come and disrespect me later
It
on
is
because I ain't nobody. Remember? Wait, what?
cold.
I just think it's horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrific for me. Yeah. So go ahead and what were you saying, Rasha,
Well, I
before?
was just simply gonna say, just to piggyback off what you're saying, is don't be judgmental. Be inquisitive. Ask questions. Find out the why. Get the context. I'm a context person. But anyway, get the reason behind this belief. Go in and ask questions and don't be judgmental because you can judge something and be far off. And
Mm.
also you can
Oh,
judge something and be spot on. But ask questions. Be neutral. Try to treat people the way you want to be treated. That's the best
oh,
rule of thumb, especially in the corporate environment. You don't know where your help is going to come from. And this is personal, business,
She's right.
religious. You don't know what's going to happen. Treat people right.
She's
Treat them
right.
right.
telling you the first time around,
The
not the
first
second
time around.
because you found out that the person you were so rude to before has this title and position and can hook
You
you
don't even
up. No,
know
you're
if
not
this
getting rid of
person,
me no
Not
more. I'm not hooking
what
you up no more.
right? You don't even
what
know that this person would have your back better than the person that you're
you know
treating
what?
with, utmost respect
Look,
because they believe the same way you
look,
believe,
Rasha.
being biased.
I'm not hooking you up. I remember you from the hallway, and I asked you where the bathroom was,
And you
and you
just
had a
walk the other
whole
way.
attitude. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dewey. I saw your
No,
hand.
no, no. Real quick, it's strange that we're talking about this very subject because a movie I've fallen in love with as of late because I think it's a great film,
Give me
and
a second, y'all.
the story in this movie, it tells a great story, and it's in relation to what we're talking about right now. And that movie is Acrimony, Tyler Perry's movie Acrimony,
Oh wow,
because
the deep
this
dive.
guy, he had a dream and he had a
That's a deep
goal for
dive.
his battery to take off, but his wife turned on him, his wife's family turned on him, and they started becoming, as we talking about, being judgmental. You're never going nowhere with that battery. You're wasting your time. And this man in the end became a very wealthy man. But see, that's how people are. They quick to judge you, and because of the fact they looking at the here and the now, and they don't see the potential in the future of what you can become. They're so quick to write you off. So that guy did not give up on his dream. He continued to follow his dream, and it took his wife to leave him, her family to turn against him, maybe friends and whatnot. But in the very end, because of him, being consistent and believing in his dream as strongly he did, like I said, in the very end, the man became very wealthy and prominent.
In his ex-wife's defense, I believe that he
Uh-huh.
could have went about it in a different way that was not so consuming to
Uh-huh.
where he took, I want to say, liberties
Mm-hmm.
that would have gave her cues that she was valued, that
Yes.
her investments were thought of, and she's well thought of. And I think that it could have came out differently had his actions been a little bit different, even
Yeah.
in his
You're
pursuit.
right.
Because if you
Yeah.
seek something long
Right.
enough, you're going to find it,
Yeah.
regardless of what's happening in life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that he could have went about it a little bit differently, and then she could have been a little bit more forgiving too in the end,
Yeah.
because of things that happened. She had stuck with him for this long. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And so what happens in so many relationships now, everybody's giving up saying, oh, I'm going to live my best life and keep it moving. When
Uh-huh.
had you stuck together, you suffered already all this time, you've
Yeah.
invested all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Had you stayed on a little bit longer, you would reap the benefit of your investment. And so that's what people are jumping ship. I've never seen people get on a roller coaster, go up and then go down. And I've never seen anyone jump off the roller coaster. So you got to stay on for the
Good
ride.
metaphor. Perfect metaphor. You're right, Raj. And I just want to say real quick before we move on. I saw a quote on Facebook that said, you've worked hard to try and build your dream, and you suffered. Don't give up. Get a reward for it. So
Yes.
yeah, and you were right about what you just said. Yeah.
But we should be respectful of all people's beliefs,
Oh, no doubt. No
and
doubt.
their culture. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have to agree with it. We don't have to condone it, but we
Mm-hmm.
should be respectful of one another. We should be able to work with each other and speak to each other respectfully. If there is some dissent or we have disagreements, we should be able to discuss them as adults, and we should be
Absolutely.
able to move on and go to either a ground where maybe somebody has to we vote and get it done,
Mm-hmm.
or the superior says no, we're going to do it this specific way, and then we go along with that particular ideology of it within the workplace, because it shouldn't affect us personally,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, or spiritually that way in a negative manner.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
That's true.
um,
So we were talking about acrimony, Gemini.
so you know what, and this says, and look at that word up there, that era arranger, and it's not. It's supposed to be belief, but people with strong belief theme They feel like I am passionate and, uncompromising about core values. I need
Yes.
a I need a cause or a purpose which to live. I love altruism. Can someone look up that word altruism? Because it's the second time we heard it. And so, let's by definition get some of these words, that are not used in our everyday vocabulary out there with a definition. They also say, I hate anything that does not align with my beliefs, and I bring stability, clarity, and conviction of values. So that word altruism, Rosh is going
So
to get that
altruism
definition.
is, let's say, a moral value for many cultures and religions. It is defined as a person's concern for the well-being of others, regardless of how the person feels about them.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. And so just to give some context to, these descriptions about what people with the strong belief believe, this
Mhm.
can be a hinder, a help, or a hinder, because
Right.
you have that in here. I hate anything that does not align with my beliefs. And some people feel that way. Some people, that's why they won't work a certain job, right? And it is
Right.
they can do what they want, right? To each his own.
And see,
So
that's
if,
why they need
some
research.
people work for the church. Some
Right.
people are secretaries and office personnel and staff. If you have great big churches, you have Jewish temples that need staff. You have, mega churches that need staff. You have, Catholic churches that always, have staff, because these religious places employ people. Let's not forget
Right.
that. Right. And so, when you are a person and you absolutely feel that way, there are lots of jobs that will allow you to work where the belief is there. We
Mhm.
have one great big church here. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it right now, but this church has the power to actually get the roads rearranged. They have right now in Grandview, Missouri, where we're in Kansas City, Missouri, but Grandview is just up the street. They have rearranged the roads there. I mean, literally all of that entire streets with an S. They have rearranged it for the purpose of the church so that they can get in and out of there. This church has been established since 2013, and it's one of those alternative, everybody come as you are type of churches. Lots of rainbow people, lots of people from all over come
Everywhere.
together with this church. Yeah. And so it is quite the something to see them work together for their cause and their belief. And
Mm.
they employ lots of people, and they have made the city of Grandview, because it's not that big, they have made the city together a lot stronger, because they have employed lots of people who actually move from their cities and states to come and live with others at this church. And they work in and around that community, right? And so their belief in that instance has made the community stronger. It has made them stronger because they are with like-minded folk. And they're not a cult, and it is what it is. Churches and religious places employ people every day, all day. They get a whole W-2 and sometimes a whole 1099 miss. And
Mhm.
so, it happens.
Yeah, and so like
So go
opposite
ahead.
of what you're saying, there was a person that worked for the DMV, and I guess maybe there was a license that was requested, and I guess the person representing the DMV felt that the client or the person was not living the way that they should be living. They would probably live an alternative lifestyle. So they sent them something in the mail telling them that God is not pleased with what they're doing. And of course, they lost their job because you're telling you're sending this person something you don't know based on your religious beliefs, and you're trying to, convert them or tell them they're wrong. So just like out here when they were giving out licenses to same gender loving couples, one of the ladies in the license office would not issue licenses based on what the, I think then, mayor had stated to do. So you have to realize that your job is your job. Your religious beliefs are your religious beliefs outside of that corporate setting.
Yeah,
So just be aware.
unless you go and again work for the church, or the church has resources where they have a workforce development, because lots of churches do. They have a workforce development. They
Yes.
also have a volunteer section within the workplace, because people need to feed their families no matter where they are. But when you are a low key belief person, you will try to get your lick in any way that you can. And that is what that is. So when people are writing things on, hey, I'm doing this because this is my personal belief and it is a workplace environment, that is them technically getting their lick back for, because I don't have any power, any real type of power to convert people. So I'm going to sit here and do it low key in a misplaced, hateful way. And I'm going to pick this person today to pick on and tell them about my belief. But that's something completely different. But you really should go to where your belief is aligned if you hate anything that does not align with your belief.
Right. And that's for everybody.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with that. But I mean, I think people should be more open minded. I mean, there's far too many closed minded people out there, and when it comes to race, religion, gender, national origin, political affiliation, your socioeconomic status, unfortunately, people are divided by these very things. People are separated because of their race, because of their gender, because of their religious beliefs, because of their socioeconomic status or their educational background, and et cetera, et cetera. And I wish the world could be more open-minded. People could embrace each other more so than they do. But unfortunately, that's like Earth, Wind, and Fire said. That's the way of the world. That's the way the world has
And I
always
was
been.
just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
people
it's the way
separate
it's the way of
themselves
the world, and
based
all
on
we
these
have is ourselves. We can only govern ourselves.
right. And that to me, things like that is superficial.
Yeah,
I'm not going to associate with
absolutely.
you because of these things.
Right.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
my
yeah,
distance.
yeah, yeah. I hate anything that does not align with my beliefs. Yeah,
Right.
but I also equate that with maturity.
That's
So
right.
mature
Right.
people find ways to do workarounds, and immature people do not give themselves in. They cannot see that, and then it's not our job to tell them what a box they live in, because
Right.
they don't want to give themselves options, and they don't want to give themselves alternatives. They do not like workarounds, and so it's okay if you are a person like that. It's no pun intended. It's just that other people are living other ways, and so the respect factor has to be there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No doubt. That's right. Hmm.
And so if you work with a person with the belief theme, with a strong belief theme, you may want to partner with someone who has strong futuristic talents. And futuristic is another theme that we have not gotten to yet, but we will. So keep that word in mind. This person can energize you by painting vivid pictures of the direction in which your values will lead. So, a person, I'm thinking, if we had to assume or guess, right, that a futuristic person is a person that has vision, that can see beyond today,
Mhm.
right? And so that's what belief is too, right? But beyond, it's not, we don't know what that beyond is, but you can best believe that if you are a person with strong belief, you're thinking beyond today. And
Mhm.
so is a person with a futuristic talent. They're probably thinking beyond today. And that's why the end of that sentence say, in which your values will lead, meaning future tense, right?
Yeah.
It's not present and it's not past.
Mhm.
So if you are a person with a strong theme, belief in your theme, you may the way you can, this is one way, not the only way. One way you can lead with belief is your belief talents will allow you to talk to the hearts of people, right? To develop a purpose statement and communicate it with your friends and family and your coworkers.
Mhm.
Your powerful emotional appeal can give them a motivating sense of contribution, and that's to yourself and the other person, right? If
Right.
you ask some people, they would probably think that I have a strong belief in this, because that is very, because sometimes I tend to be very empowering, right? Because I believe that it's time to wake up, and we should be doing more with ourselves and with our children, and with our grandchildren, legacy that we'll be leaving. We need to put some more core values back into our purpose and what we think about family and what we think about other people these days. I think some of it has left, and we are not the same people we were at just 10 years ago,
Right.
right? And
And people
so,
can feel when you put your heart into something. Just like there are singers and there are people that can sing. So there's a
yeah,
difference. You can feel it when they mean it, when they have that particular belief, and they're being led by their heart and not hate. There's a difference. You can
there's
feel
a
the hate.
difference. Yeah, there's a huge difference. And talking to the hearts of people can be singing, it can be
Yes.
talking, it can be writing, it
Communication.
can be lots of things,
Straight up.
but you have that ability to understand people on a deeper level than a surface.
To
Yeah,
connect.
that's kind of surface. Yeah, when general is surface, but to lead with your heart, that means you're a little deeper than just the surface.
Mhm.
So let's say if you live with a person who has that strong belief theme, you may want to clarify your values by thinking about one of your best days ever, and how did your values play into the satisfaction of what you received on that day, and how you can organize your life to repeat that day as often as possible.
And people are drawn to
Wow.
what they like. You can get more flies with honey than you can with salt.
Mm,
So you
come
have to you
on.
have to put some sweetness in,
Especially in the workplace, right?
especially
Oh
in the
my
workplace.
gosh.
You have to show yourself available. You have to show yourself reliable, consistent, and they should be able to trust you. You should be showing yourself trustworthy in order for them to share with you what their needs are, as well as what your needs are.
Mm-mm-mm. What do you think about
And
that?
that
How to
belief is
organize your life to repeat that day as often. So are we saying that we're going to reflect on our actions in the workplace?
Well, yeah. Because okay, look at it like this. Because I've often talked to people at work about this. We talk about people from different backgrounds, different
Mhm.
races, different religions, different educations, different whatever. Okay, and when you bring all these people in together, whether it be a couple hundred, 500,000, couple thousand, however many, um, sometimes it does create conflict, or it does, like I said, because people may not be willing to embrace someone that is different from them. You all see what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
mean, and my philosophy is such that if someone, no matter who they are, if someone says, I only want to be around people who are like me, I
Yeah.
don't want to be around someone that's a different race from me, a different gender from me, a different religion from me, a different education from me, or whatever. It's many different factors. To me, you're not living. You're living your life in a box. If you only want to be around people who are like you, and LaShawn, like I told you, that's the reason why I love to travel and go to other countries and mingle with other cultures and see how people are
Mm.
living, not only within the United States, but see how people are living abroad. I want to embrace
Mhm.
other cultures and from people from different backgrounds. So we talk about the belief system. I mean, yes, again, I'll say it again. I respect other people's beliefs and their outlooks on different things. May not always agree, of course, but I believe there are just too many people with that mindset. I only want to be around someone who is just like me. And to me, if you do have that mindset, you're not living. You're really not. So I hope I kind of like elaborated
Mm-mm.
on that,
That's
everyone.
right. You're
So
not really living. You're
you,
missing out on a lot.
you sure are. You're missing
Yeah.
out on a lot. Yes.
Especially those that have just stayed in their neighborhood. I just feel for those people that have not gotten out of the 3 to 4 block radius. There's a
Yes.
life
That's
outside of there. There's
yes.
cities, there's states,
Your
there's
mind is
it's
closed.
it's closed.
It's closed. You don't
You're
have an
only exposed to
open mind.
what
You
you
don't have to
have
go
access to.
nowhere and mingle with other people
Right.
and willing to embrace other people's cultures
Mm-hmm.
and learn their cultures. So
Mm-hmm.
let me stop because I'll go on and on and on. Let me
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Moving on.
yeah. So if you have the belief theme in your top 5, you are very likely to feel when you experience a breach of ethics. People high in belief, Strengthfinders theme are seen as dependable because they are driven to act on their values and take a stand when a value is at stake. Their values give their lives meaning. Life is more than money. Life is more than just a position or a prestige. The most important aspect of life is staying true to one's value. It's about doing the right thing and always doing the right thing. I know people like this. I wouldn't say this is me, right? Because just by the nature of who I am, Gemini is a complete lawbreaker within the confines of proper restrictions, right? But I know people who hold values as the end all and be all. And I can partially agree with this, but not 100% because again, I subscribe to the rules were meant to be broken type of mindset. I'm not a do-gooder by far, right? And so you can forget that. That doesn't work for me. That last statement here, and always doing the right thing. I will always do the right thing, but I will tell you something about rules. For me, some people see rules as okay, hey, everyone should abide by the rules. But for me, I see rules as I need more information. How far is that circle of rules? And then I'm going to the very edge of that rule once I find out how far I can go.
That's
I'm
everybody.
never just going to sit. That's not everybody. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. I know more people. This is why people go to upper management and snitch on you every time you attempt to go too far out of the rule that they're familiar with.
Okay, I want to say this real quick.
How
I'm
many
asking
times do people, hold on, let me ask Rasha, how many times do people snitch
They snitch
in the
quite often,
workplace?
and they don't
Okay,
snitch on themselves, but they'll snitch on other people, which tells
thank
me
you.
you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. So you're taking the spotlight off of you and put it on Gemini, or you put it on Dewey, because you don't want Rasha doesn't want them watching her, because Rasha's going to the edge of the line, and she's probably crossing the lines and doing stuff she wants to do. But we need to be careful because people usually they go to that edge. They go
Well,
to see
no,
how
I
far.
don't. You listen. You see people going to that edge. I don't. I
Okay.
see gatekeepers long before you get to that
Yeah,
edge.
they keep it there.
I see so many gatekeepers because the gatekeepers they abide by all the rules. Every last single one. They need rules so much in their life that they really don't want to associate you with you because it is their firm belief that
Mhm.
rules keep us safe and rules are there for a reason.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, we're on rules. We've touched on rules. Okay, here's my question to you, LaShawn and Rasha. Okay, what do you think about people who incorporate rules, but the rules only benefit them? They don't benefit other people. They'll
Well,
tell
now
you,
you're
well,
talking about
abide
some
by
things
these
out of our
rules, follow
control,
these
though.
rules,
Yeah.
but the rules only benefit them. They don't benefit. They only apply to other people, but they don't apply to the very people that incorporate them.
Mm.
Oh, I
Well,
can
now
break
we're
the rules.
talking
I
about,
made the
right?
rules.
It's still part of the value thing, right? It's still the part
Right,
of the value aspect. And this is
right.
why here for a person with a strong belief theme, it says the most important aspect of life is staying true to one's values. It's about doing the right thing and always doing the right thing. Trust and believe. If they this would not say that if there were more people pushing boundaries than not.
But remember, we're talking about
This
belief.
is for this is strictly for people who believe this way. This is
Yeah,
part of their belief
their
and
belief.
value system. So that
Mhm.
means then it exists. We're not going to act like it don't, because a lot of times people do not understand why people are at work snitching on them. People are not at work snitching on them to cover up their tracks. That's part of it. Yeah. But most of the time, people really feel like you are doing something wrong
Mhm.
because they wouldn't dare do it. They
Mhm.
wouldn't do it. But here it is, they're watching you do it. It frightens them. Lots
Mhm.
of people are not rule breakers, and especially at work, because it's about doing the right thing. So the right thing is subjective.
Mhm.
That means that it can mean anything to the person's mind that it's in. It can look different to me, look different to you, look different to Dewey about what is the right thing. So
Mhm.
when you have a value this way,
Mhm.
and it's about always doing the
Black and
right thing,
white.
it
It's
says,
gonna be
not
black and white.
sometimes. It
There's no
says,
gray areas.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's only black and white. Yeah. And there are lots of people. This is why they cannot stand people who do this or do that.
Mhm.
Just like earlier here, where it says, right? Where it says here, I hate anything that does not align with my beliefs. These are
Mhm.
real people. People
Mhm.
really believe this way. This is why we're having this conversation, so that we can understand a person with a strong belief system. And yes, they will tell on you. Yes, they will. This is why you can't go still with people with a strong belief
Amen to
system. You
that.
can barely
I
do
just saying it.
anything with a person with a strong belief system.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
They're
I
calling
see
the
what
cops
Dewey's
on
asking about
you,
the bigger
right?
picture. There's a
Yeah.
bigger picture with how we look at everything globally and how it affects the believer or the people with the beliefs. And I see, the question where, how do we handle situations where laws and codes are enforced by people who don't have to follow them. That's interesting as well. But when you're dealing with people with beliefs, it's their strong belief that they have to follow this line, and they will abide by what rules that they deem that are coincide with their beliefs or what they have ascribed to. And so that's why we have to try to keep it in with the values or the theme that we're discussing today, so we can better understand this is the way the believer believes, or this is the way the believer
Yeah,
reacts, this is the
because
way the
look at
believer
that sentence
operates.
up, look at that sentence right above that. It says their values give their lives meaning. Life
Yes.
is not about money. Life is about money for me. Life is about money, position. Life is more than money, position, or prestige. To them, life is about the value of always doing what is right. High
Yeah.
ethics, high principles, high values, right? These
Mhm.
are people who absolutely live their life like this. They're doing more than snitching you out, right? They're taking a stance. They're taking a position. Their position is, hey, I feel like you are not doing the right thing in this workplace environment. And
Hmm.
I feel like someone should know what you're up to. And so they go and they tell, because they're not boundary pushers. They are completely satisfied with the small ring around them. It gives them safety. It provides a safety net in the workplace environment. Some of those people know, some of our more intelligent folk are up and around there that hold some of the classes, our ethic classes and things like that. No, these people have a strong sense of they feel that, right? Like,
Hmm.
listen, I do this job because it is right. I do it this way because it is right.
Hmm.
That's a whole nother level. So this is people with high principles, high ethics, and high values. I respect all of that, because to be honest, when you want something done right the first time, these are the people you're gonna go and get.
Yeah.
If
You
you're
you're not
running
you're not gonna go and get a mess person. You're going to go and get a person who has it all together and has all of this together here, because you're going to get results
Right.
correctly the first time around, not no
Right.
second time around. They're not having that.
Yes, if
Yeah.
you're running a nonprofit organization and you have to abide by those 501c3 rules, this is the person I want in charge of,
Yeah.
making sure I'm doing everything right, making sure
Everything
I'm sending my
spotless.
reports out, all of that stuff. This person will make sure everything is done per the book.
That's right. Do we not hire people? We hire lawyers and we hire people that protect us in other places because they have this belief in their theme. So
Hmm.
this is not a negative by far. For me, again, I know my righteous folk. I'm not going to have you in my car taking you to work because I don't want you snitching me that I stopped by and got some extra coffee 5 minutes, and that's why we were late for work because you've been to snitch me out. We were she could find her badge. Yes, she could. She lied when she said she couldn't find her badge. What had happened was we stopped for coffee. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, why are you telling them that? Why are you telling them this,
Mhm.
right? You know,
It
so
will
you
not
know, not
cover up for you. No. Nope, they won't let it slide. They can't. It
they
hurts
can't.
them to do
They're
that.
not going to. It hurts to do that. It
Yes.
hurts them to do that. I swear. So you know, we know who these people are, but these people are perfect in their positions that they work because they are the best at what it is that they do. And I appreciate that. The next one goes straight into a justice component with belief. Justice for self and justice for other that goes beyond fairness. The vision of a just society is often profound motivator for those high in the belief theme. Come on, y'all. There's a justice component to
Mhm.
this. Making a difference, doing what is right, fair, and just. All three of those things right there together. Ensuring that your actions are in line with your values. Speaking up when something is just not right,
Mhm.
that is belief. And it makes you a powerful proclaimer of truth. There's not by you, it's in them to do so. Even if you dog them, they are still going to have a sense of justice, fair, and do what's right. All of moved. These are high principled, high ethics, high valued people, mindsets. And it's okay. You see what I'm saying? Because when we need them, that's what we need them to be, just this way. People are helping us. People are helping us win cases. We have lots of EEOC complaints at work. You people have lots of times that they have sued their workplace and things of that sort. Who did they go get for a win? Somebody like this.
Mhm.
This is what people pay high dollar for too. When they go and get the best lawyer, get the best this and get the best that, and get all these other people to sit here and check the numbers and blah blah blah. These are those folks, and we can appreciate them in the workplace. So some of the things that may help, that helps the person with the high belief theme is, um, it says, you can be conscious for your team and organization. And isn't it interesting? It starts off the word conscious. Come on,
Mhm.
y'all. We can't make this up. You provide stability by clearly stating and demonstrating organizational values.
They're going by the
So your
book.
conscious is involved. I mean, that's pretty heavy, but belief in your conscious goes hand in hand.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that it starts off conscious as saying what you demonstrate in your workplace environment. Your conscious won't allow you to do what is wrong. It just won't. You are dependable. Others know where you stand. You can be count on your moral compass.
Mhm.
Moral compass. That compass is a moral compass, goes hand in hand. In times of change, you can provide team and organizational stability by communicating core values that should not and will not change.
Mhm. And they do. They will
That
tell you.
IRM person, that IRM person, You got an IRM person at your job, Rassha?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they go
And
by
what do they
what does it say? What does it say? That's the first thing they're gonna ask. What does it say?
how do you think the IRM mindset? How do you think those people are? Just honest, be real honest. Aren't they different type of people, or you don't see no difference in them?
They're stoic, they are dogmatic, they will beat that horse until it to kingdom come and say, this is what it says. Now, mind you, it is subject to interpretation, but it said they're going to go exactly by what it says, not even depending on whether or not there are contextual issues. The context of it means more too. In what context is it being, used to determine what actions happen next? So when you have a person that believes it, they're going to say it says X, Y, and Z, and they're not going any further than that.
And that's it, and that's all. Put a period behind that. That's all, folks, right? Like Bugs Bunny. That's all, folks. Yes, that is the way they are. And it says, because your work matters to you, you can help others see the intrinsic value. Here, there's that word again, intrinsic, moral compass, conscious value of their work and the valuable contributions they make to the team's organization's mission. These are our HR people as well, right?
Mhm.
HR people, these are people in the union. If you have a union at your job, um, these are some of those folks. And I'm not talking about, like, for instance, um, labor work, because those unions are a little bit different. Those unions, um, yeah, that's a different ball game. So I'm not talking about that type of union. I'm talking about if you have a union in a different type of job setting, and they support what you do. A lot of them have their training consists of reading that manual, reading
Mhm.
the like for us, it's called the National Agreement. For others, you may have a different type of union handbook, but your union steward, that word is all the same no matter where you are. So your steward, your union steward, reads tons and 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 tons of laws.
Mhm.
This is how they work for you. This is how they're supposed to work for you, by knowing the law and what it says about your organization, and your organization's mission. This is how
Right.
they help you. You know, but those people who study like that, yeah, they are conscientious. They have a moral compass, and they have lots of intrinsic values.
Mhm.
Now, here's some things that can hinder the person with the theme of belief, right? It says your belief talents make you strong and confident, but if you do not honor the beliefs of those on your team, you may find yourself working alone. Just saying,
That
right?
happens. It
Because the
really
belief
does
person
happen.
can't be selfish.
Yeah, they'll back off and they'll leave you to your own devices, and you will be talking to yourself during team meetings. You will have no cooperation to get those business results together. Their work will not be timely. There's a lot that goes on with that. So you have to be able to
I'm just
incorporate their
saying.
beliefs and make sure that everyone knows that their voice is regarded, their voice is important.
Yeah, that they're being heard. I'm telling you. And it also says, because your work matters, you may have a hard time understanding and relating to those for whom work is primarily a paycheck. Their
Mhm.
income may be the vehicle by which they fulfill their meaning and purpose outside of the workplace. I couldn't have said it better myself,
That
right?
happens.
Why did you buy that expensive car? Aren't you too old to be driving a car like that? No, he's not. He's
What's
trying
it
to get
to
the
you?
chicks.
What's it to you?
Amen to that. She said, Rosh said, what's it to you? That's right.
You
If
know,
you're right, I want to drive in my old dude's nice ride, right? So, but a
you want to
person
be
with
if
a
you want
high
to be a
value, they're
Thundercat
gonna
or
understand that.
Cougar, or she want to be a Cougar, and what's it to you? Let them be what they be. Those are their beliefs.
People at work, I know quite a few people at work do that too all the time. One guy is 70. They always tell him, he's 70 years old. Why does he need a car like that? I don't
He gonna
understand why
say,
he's driving that.
he gonna
Really?
say,
You gonna tell this man how to spend his money? Is that what we're doing?
we was teasing this one lady.
He's
She was like,
70
yeah,
years old. Listen, he
they are
smells
something
good. He
else.
looks
They
good. His
young.
car is fine. His pockets are fat. Hey, who's gonna
I'm
complain
sure
then?
he
Who's gonna
said there
complain?
might be snow on the roof, but there's fire in the furnace.
Yeah.
That part right there.
Mhm.
Just simply saying, right? And they have a
Okay.
hard time understanding that. And they do.
They
People,
got
you
it.
know what? I've heard somebody say just recently too. And I have all these, hey, Gemini single. So, I watch the baddies and people say sometimes, and I follow the baddies too in the comment, and they all go, I can't believe she's 40 and still on the baddies. Wait a minute. Since when do, first of all, the baddies pay you? That guy, Little Lemuel, he pays a big fat check for them to be on there. They're getting like $50,000 an episode. Some of those ladies, even more, right? $200,000 an episode. When does age have when does money have an age? So
Wow.
we can't be 40 or 50 making $200,000 a season and still because we still looking good. I don't understand that. I don't
Mm.
understand that, but I see that comment all of the time. Hey, he's 60. Why is he driving that car? She's 40. Why does she look like that? Wait, what is going on?
Yeah, you
But
need to ask questions. See why does she look that good? Why does he look that good? How did they get to that point? What
Or
are they
why is
how did
he
they get to that point?
65 going with that woman 30?
doing? Okay,
And my attitude towards that, really, it don't matter. The way I see it, they both grown folks. So
that's
both of them
right.
grown people.
Thank
They
you.
grown.
Thank
It may
you.
be a big a gap in their age, but at the same time, if they get along and they like each other and they want to be together, then why should they care what the world have to say?
Exactly.
That's my attitude.
And you know
Exactly.
what this statement says? It cracks me up because I'm going to read it. It says, the second sentence there. Understand they may have a hard time understanding and relating to those for whom work is primarily a paycheck. Lots of single people are saving up. We have a per- I have a we have a I have a great upper management who is saving his money for his marriage fund. He is a single man. He's hoping to be married. And when by the time he gets married, he wants to have all his ducks in a row. So, yes, that job is primarily a paycheck because he has other things to do with his life and his young family once he becomes married, right?
Yeah.
And then it says their income might be the vehicle by which they fulfill their meaning and
Mhm.
purpose outside of the workplace. Yes, there's more to work than work. There is a such thing as outside of the workplace, people. There,
Hmm.
No
there it
doubt.
is,
That is.
no
Life
doubt. So
outside.
it's
There's a life.
so it
Yeah.
says, beware of snap judgments. If others' value don't align with yours, you can tend to be judgmental when evaluating their motivations. And this is what we're talking about. All of these judgments we have about people because you have strong belief in your thing and you don't believe that people should, that people should, that people should. This is something that can hinder you. So if this is you and you believe this way and you really feel strongly about that way, you can align yourselves with others who are like you. Our workplace, though, 9 times out of 10, if you're not working for the church, no matter what church that is, and if you're not working for other nonprofit organizations or even companies who have a particular purpose, if you're not working in that type of environment, you are nine times out of 10 working with the melting pot environment, which means that you then have to learn how to get along with others, even if you do have a strong belief in something,
Mhm.
right? You're just going to have to. So it
Yeah.
says also for you, mission is primary, which is admirable, but sometimes a little impractical,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to budgetary constraints. Remember that organizations must be financially viable to fulfill their mission, right? And so that again is for a higher up, a person, who's a little higher up, because we're not going to be, and unless you work for, yourself, or you work for a small company or something like that, that is just to be mindful of that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, in this theme belief here,
Look, LaShawn, I have to get off here in a few. I gotta really start making my
they're
run. So,
unchanging.
mhm.
Yeah, they're principled. Okay, Dewey, that's fine.
Yeah, let me
They're
look at this. Let me
passionate
look at this.
and they
Let me look at
are
this presentation. Then I'm
committed.
oh.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
So, self-awareness.
Mhm.
So, the power and edge of belief, certainty is a hallmark characteristic belief. Certainty of values, certainty of mission, certainty of purpose. This can be a compelling source of energy, not only for one's productivity and drive, but also for the inspiration and motivations of others. We absolutely like certainty. And I'm
Mhm.
glad these people have that value as one of their core values, because they are certain that they can get this right. They are certain they can help you. They are certain this is going to work. And when you come into a situation and you're doubting something, or you're fearful of something, a person with a strong belief in their theme, they are different. They are certain. So they
Mhm.
can give you that energy that you need
Get it.
not to believe that things are not going to work out in your favor.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So self-regulation. Self-regulation occurs when individuals know which of their talents to use in particular situations. We always talk about that, right?
Mhm.
There's that word black and white in there too. Um, they know what talents to use to combine to sharpen, accelerate, or soften a specific talent. For example, those in high belief may tend to see the world in a very black and white term. That's what Rasha said earlier, which can lead to inflexibility and discounting others' points of view.
Mhm.
This can
And they have to
cause
be really
conflict.
careful. Yeah.
Mhm.
And taking sides. When a
Hmm.
team is trying to solve a complicated issue, in turn, slowing things down and disrupting the communication. Come on, y'all. So
Mhm.
you have to be self-aware that this is you, and then you have to self-regulate yourself. There's not an outside person that's going to do it, and they shouldn't, right? We shouldn't be all up in your mix telling you, "Hey, but you da 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 da," unless they warranted something happened, and that's the kind of conversation it goes into. But for the most part, self-regulation is going to be the key to each and every last one of these things, and how you are in your everyday. You have to
Yeah.
regulate yourself. That's self-control and self-discipline. Has
Mhm.
nothing to do with outside people. People didn't make you do nothing. You self-regulate yourself, and you keep yourself in checks and balances when things are not going your way.
Yeah. Yep. On that note, I have to run, everybody. This has been fun.
All right,
All
Dewey. Thank
right.
you so
And
much.
Thanks
We'll
for
see
joining
you
us,
next
Dewey.
week. Have
until
a good
next
one.
time, much love to everybody.
Much
I
love.
enjoyed
Yes.
it. Talk to you soon.
All righty.
Have a good
Bye,
one.
everyone.
Have a good one. Okay.
And
So,
so, Rasha,
mhm.
let's see. I'm gonna come back to this. Let's see if we have Sakina or anyone who wants to come up here and answer and go through the Q&A. Let's see. Because we're gonna go into our Q&A. We're gonna go into our Q&A, and let's see if she laughing.
She just said drop the link.
Oh God. Am I okay? Let me drop the link. Sakina, are you coming up here? What's going on with my bangs today? Where's she at? Rasha,
Yes.
how's this? So far, what have we gotten out of this presentation today? What did you
So
think about it?
working with the person that is, or if you are a person that is a believer, highly themed in belief, you want to be able to communicate what your beliefs are. You also want to be open to those around you, open to their information that they have to give you. Don't be so judgmental. Be curious. And you also want to have the
Mhm.
mindset to have a positive impact on your group with staying with the strategic, I guess, boundaries that is set by the business, not the results, but whatever is outlined for your business goals.
Sakina, that's you. You got some sort of static. Okay, there it
Yeah.
goes.
So
That's better. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
You got a
But
lot going on
being
back there.
aware of what your beliefs are and, going in with a way to articulate them um, professionally is going to be a great help to the person that has
Mhm.
really stoic beliefs, or they're really, they really believe what they believe. And so it's just making sure that you are politically correct. You definitely want to make sure that you have a way to communicate without being offensive, also. But
Mhm.
just remember,
Yeah,
you don't have
that's
to
good.
leave your beliefs
Yeah.
at the door. You don't
Yeah.
have to check your
Yeah.
brains in at the door. So you don't have to do all that. Just make sure that you're being, professional in your interaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just make sure that too, that you are and again, this is why we're having, these, breaking down this book this way because again, people look at other people with such disgust and disdain as if they're doing something wrong when no, technically if you recognize who people are for what they are, recognize their value, you would see
Mm-hmm.
that they bring a strength to you and not a weakness at all. Something
Right.
that you can uh, rearrange and make fit, and it will be they will find the perfect position for
Right.
the work that they do. That's the whole importance of, like you was mentioning earlier, the research of your job position, right? The research of what it is that you are that you're doing so that you can understand where you fit in your workplace environment and
Exactly.
go in there and knock it out the ballpark, right?
Mm, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bring these questions back up. Sakina, are you there? Oh, she's
Okay. So let's.
still working on her.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
there she
okay.
goes.
Good. Good. Good.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Okay, there
here.
you go.
I got
Hey,
some
Tina.
Oh,
bogusness going on. But listen, let me start off by this. Y'all know I took some wonderful notes, and this was a wonderfulness. I was giving all kind of acronyms and whatever in the chat. What they call them, icons, right? Um,
Emojis. Uh,
yeah.
I got to get up with the verbiage, right? So,
Right, that's right. That's right.
first of all, I want to say congratulations, sister, right, on these endeavors, right?
yes.
Right. So the manifestation is a wonderful thing. And you be life in it, right? So
Life be life, and that's
yeah, so
right.
life be life and this belief and be life in, right? Is a wonderful thing. And I love the way this was broken down, right? Um because um I really wanted to shoot from the hip, but I'm glad I always tell you.
We're gonna help you out. You gonna shoot. We gonna shoot. We gonna shoot from the hip a little later. Let's go into these. Let's go into the Q and
Okay.
A. And then
Okay,
you can
let's
help
get into
us
that.
with some of these, with some of these questions here.
Okay,
Can you guys see the screen or no?
Okay,
yeah,
make it big. Yeah, we can see it.
but you could blow it
Okay,
up a
I
little
just want
bit.
to make sure you can see it. I'm
Big.
going to make it. Yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I'm going to make it bigger. I just need for
Okay.
you to let me know if you saw it or not.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yes, we have it.
Okay, so when we're talking about belief as it pertains to the workplace, first question: how do you know if you're making a difference at work or at home or any other aspect of your life? Anybody want to tackle that?
Right. Well, you always see the difference, right? Because you're making a difference again when you be life in it. One way I know it is because when I used to come home from work, my kids greet me at the door, especially when I was used to picking them up from school and all that when I get off of work. But when times change and they was able to get the bus, when I come home, right, they meet me at the door, right, every day.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? And
yeah,
so
yeah. That's cute.
that
That's
was the
good,
difference.
Sakina. I like that.
And so it was and then instead of
Yeah.
asking me when they got in the car what's for dinner, right, and then we would make these stop signs and the red lights, and we would make this trip exciting on the way home and stop at the store and get the snack and all. Instead, when I come home, we would make the dinner, we would make the snack and these kind of things. So it was the difference, so that'd be life in it and all these things. That was the difference. You see what I'm saying? Just like
Yeah,
when we
that's
at
good.
work, when we at work, we make the difference because I was told one time my office was a playground. But when people come up in there and they having these situations and carrying on, and sometimes they may want to quit, or sometimes they going through situations, and it's that's where it comes in. And so I have to have trinkets and sometimes a little story, or you know what I'm saying, or something to change this behavior, this attitude, or what have you, so that they can be able to go back down there and work with a resident that didn't beat them up and they got to walk away with that with okay, or they didn't got cussed out, or whatever the situation may be. You have to change this behavior. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
work and deal with it. Or they might have came in with something that happened. People say, I didn't sleep with you last night, but somebody might have, and they might have to reframe that attitude or whatever they done came in with, and know that you're not the only one, because we came from, or they came from, they the only one. And they need to know,
Mm-hmm.
no, somebody done been through that just like you. And I'll land with that.
Well, that's good because that is called an other aspect of your life. And so, yeah, one way you can know that you're making a difference is that by the way people are responding to you. So the response is how one way rather to measure if you're making a difference at work by the response. Now, I will say that at work, the response for me is that that I get from people is that she's cocky but she's responsible and she's also caring. Those three things right there. And so as long as people understand that caring and responsible was the key word. Cocky is a personal. That's something that's very personal. You can check that at the door. But the responsibility and accountability is something that I'm always associated with. That is the response that I get from others. And so I'm handed certain tasks that other people wouldn't be as responsible with because I make sure that that is the way that I carry myself at work. So you are absolutely correct in bringing that out, that the way people respond to you makes all the difference, right? So
Yes.
what about your life?
One thing I
What
say to
about your
that.
life's ambition, Rasha?
Oh, one thing I say to that too is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I see that the way you
Mhm.
guys make differences in your work life balance with the kids, and making sure your personal life is together, organized, um, making sure that the coworkers have a safe place to come if they need to vent, or if they need to, get information, or being that type of person that provides the information, the technical experience that needs to be relayed at a specific time. But the other aspect in your life would be making sure the things that you do are meaningful. And so
Mhm.
providing assistance, giving the correct advice, the correct technical knowledge, giving the information that you have freely.
But how
And
can you measure meaningful, Rasha?
how can you measure meaningful?
If we're gonna use the word meaningful, how can we measure that? Because
So we
response is one way to measure it. So, but if
Mhm,
something is meaningful, what is going to be the outcome that will allow you to know if you're making a difference in that person's life?
mhm. So being able to communicate and express yourself in a way that the person is receptive to your suggestions, your thoughts, your concerns.
Receptive, yeah, yeah.
You can also determine whether or not that it's meaningful if it impacts the person positively or negatively. So you can tell what's happening by the way the response comes back to you, because it could come back in a way where, hey, this person is doing a lot better in their work environment, or this person, maybe this environment is not for them, and you're helping them to figure out a way to resolve that or try to work through it, or find another way to make a living.
Now,
Mhm. So
this is where
the recept hold on. So the receptivity, and that's one way to measure how you know you're making a difference. And also by people's responses is
Yes,
another way that you can know that are making a difference. Go ahead,
right. And
Sakina.
resolution.
right. So you have to make sure you have this I was gonna say, yeah, empathic what is it? Empathic role, so that you don't be what is it, play too much of a sympathy,
So
and not
empathetic and sympathetic.
right, so that you can show empathy but not
Sympathy.
be in support one way or another, so you don't have being in biasness, right? Because then you show favoritism, and this gets you caught up. Do you
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? So you have to treat each employee the same, especially when it comes to rules and things of this nature. So it has to always be empathic. And this is the word I'm trying to get out, y'all. That way you don't play sympathy to somebody. You still have empathy for them or the situation. Understand that part.
Mhm.
So it's not for the person, it's for the situation and the circumstance. That way it's the same way for each individual, the circumstance, not the person. Do you see? And that way you mean what
So
you
you're
say.
talking about, so are we saying that you are saying fairness?
Yes. And
Because
that way,
fairness would go with the hold on, fairness would um match the belief perfectly, because what was that? If they believe
exactly.
in justice, fairness, and doing what's right.
Exactly. So that doesn't have anything to do with the person. It has to go with the belief. And that's what one thing that you guys covered excellently, because belief and religion was combined yet for the principle under the politics. So therefore it was under to keep a scope of some kind of governance, which was control. So, under the separation was just the baseline control. So, you have to keep those under compartments. You're trying to control a behavior. So, that's where, when you follow that, you're only going into rules. So, you're not looking at
Mhm.
the person.
Mhm.
So, I get what you're saying, Rasha, and that's everything true. But only go with the situation, not the person. that can get you caught up saying you are cherry picking or whatever word they want to use, that you using this person in favoritism versus everybody else. And the law says whatever you do for one, you have to do for all.
What
Okay,
you
I'm done.
do for you, you can do for two. I used to love saying that at work. When I would hit people in the hallways and say, "Oh, what type of food did you get for lunch
Yeah,
today?" They say, "Oh, I got this and say, hey, what you do for you, you do for two."
Right, right.
Meaning, like, buy me some too. What you do for you do for two. So, but wait a minute though, y'all. The life's ambition, and what are the keys to fulfilling it? So it's so interesting that they use these terms, right? Ambition with belief. That goes back to this right here. Let me show you. Let me show you. What does that say? That first one under self-awareness. The power and edge of belief, certainty is a hallmark characteristic. And when they're using that word, that term right there, hallmark, they're saying it is like the X factor in math. It's not going anywhere. It is going to be there with and build or scaffold with all the other core beliefs that they have. And so ambition is that way. So I find it very interesting that they would use the word ambition and belief together this way, because ambitious people are certain. Certain
right.
people have a strong belief. Juicy. Go ahead,
So I
y'all.
like the way that Sakina came up with how her office was like a playground. So people that were having or experiencing issues dealing with their clients or dealing with situations that happen on the job, she was able to allow them to voice themselves, to give themselves a voice, that someone's listening to them. She'd also offer them a story so she could show them her empathy. And then she also would give them some tools or something to go back with to equip them to deal with the situations that they were dealing with. So to
That's
deal with
good.
the ambitions of life is to make sure that your mission is to assist and help others in your field of choice. And what the keys of to that fulfillment would be: to make sure that you're consistent, to make sure that you're present, to make sure that you're available to advise, to direct,
Mhm.
to instruct, to consult, to give them your
Yeah.
best advice, to give them the best technical skills that they can have. And so that's why we do what we do, because we want to be the best at what we do. And we have this belief that what we bring to the table is our best. And what we bring to the
Yeah.
table is going to positively impact the work environment that we are in, personally, spiritually, and physically and mentally.
Mm-mm-mm. I
And this
like
is
it. I like
everything
it.
y'all talk. This is
I
everything that
like it.
y'all bullet pointing, y'all hidden from the hip. And this is all that y'all instructed today. I'm just here to say thank you.
Mhm.
Oh
Right?
yes, yes, yeah. Because you know what, I believe in being shiny. Let's do it, y'all. The people. I love to shine. Let's do it, because that's, most shine is intrinsic, which is another word that they use in here, because there's an intrinsic belief of an assurity that people with a strong belief have. And I like that. So of course this next one would be legacy, right? What are we doing to achieve our legacy as it pertains to our belief?
Well,
And actually
understand.
belief in the workplace, because legacy is not, we know that legacy, because legacy is a broad word. It can encompass your home, it can encompass right, your family, however your dynamics are, sister to sister, if you don't have any children, mom, dad, it can be all the way around. But this is legacy as it pertains to the workplace, meaning that when we talked about it in the first slide here, right, we talked
Right.
about that legacy, and it looked a lot like this right here, fingerprints.
That's what we're
Nobody,
doing.
Come on.
yeah, values are like fingerprints, and nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do. That is
So
actually legacy.
It
mhm.
That
is.
can look like legacy.
You got to be consistent, and just like you said, the fingerprints, you can tell a wolf in sheep's clothing Because even if they're dressed like a sheep, you just watch the tracks. It's gonna leave wolf tracks. So when people are showing you they're going to be positive and they're going to be, working with the team, it has to be consistent. If it's not consistent, then that's not their real self. And so they will show you. You just got to just pay attention long enough to see what's happening. And in order to leave a legacy, you're going to leave those fingerprints, because even children are known by what they do. So adults are known by the same way. So just like if you are a person who's on time, you're always there to lend a helping hand, it leaves a legacy. You leave a trail of your activity in the minds of others, in the fabric of your organization, by what you do, your actions. It speaks louder than words, what you say. But what
Yes.
you do is
Yes.
going to define you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And you know what? That legacy, that also right there, individually tailored care,
Yes.
right? Because that's what your legacy is going to be, individually tailored care for you, and how you look to both yourself and others. It's almost like saying, hey, remember that manager who used to be here? Oh, they were great. I hate that they left. Yeah, but they had to retire out. Oh my gosh, all of our systems is because of that person. That's legacy in the workplace.
Well, let
Yeah.
me
When you
also say
do,
that.
when you,
I'm sorry.
hold on, when you make such an impact,
Mm.
when you make an impact, that word impact is also legacy in the workplace. Go ahead, Sakina.
Okay, and also your legacy also is your reputation, which was we all
Yes.
y'all also discovered. But also your resume is a hell of a
Yes.
legacy, right? Because
Yes.
the
That's
people
also
that you
legacy.
also
Yes.
associated with, and these letters of reference, and the people that you network with and connected with, right? That
Mm-hmm.
legacy, that resume supersedes you sometimes, right? Because
Yes.
when you look at that
Yes.
resume and they see all of the skills, all of the qualifications,
Mm.
all of the
Mm.
people that
Mm.
you work
Mm.
with, all of the knowledge and things that you can handle, right? That is a legacy. You
Yes, it
understand
is.
that, right? So it's
Yes,
about
it is.
how long you've been, where you've been, right? And that when you can hit the ground running, and the
Mm-hmm.
amount of
Mm-hmm.
people that you've worked with, who you've worked
Mm-hmm.
with,
Mm.
Yes.
how you worked.
What you learned. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. What
And so
what's your
this is a
what's your
legacy.
this is in our work environment, we have something called a specialized skill set. What is your
Mm.
specialized skill set?
You
Yes.
see,
You
so
know,
this
and
is
so
come on. So this is where sometimes your resume, your name, your reputation supersedes
mhm,
you, right? So
that's
when
good,
we get to
sis.
this
I
other
love it.
part, I'm gonna show y'all how all of this correlated, and this was an excellent, again, beautiful show, and I appreciate
Thank
sitting in the chat.
you.
So go ahead.
Oh my
I just want to
gosh.
throw that part in.
Yeah, so you could have
Um,
detailed assignments, developmental assignments. You don't have to be an open book. You can move in silence and still get the work accomplished that you need
mm,
to get accomplished. And sometimes that way is the best way, because that way people won't know everything that you've done. They see you working, they see you moving around in different areas of the job, but they need to see that you are consistent. They need to see that you are available, and they need to see that you are present and on time.
And they
mhm,
don't know what your
mhm.
job
They don't
entitles. They just
know. Yeah.
subordinates and others will just walk and say, "Oh, I could do your job."
They
But
don't know.
see, but when they get that resume,
Hmm.
or they assume to look you up, they couldn't handle it.
When you be busting people eyeballs out with, oh my
Exactly.
gosh, that's who
See,
that person
because
is. Oh my
exactly.
god.
See, that's when your
I
resume
was in the
supersedes you.
elevator with this
You
person.
see what I'm
Oh
saying?
my
So you just
God.
keep on. That's when your resume supersedes you, and you don't even know it.
Let me tell you a story
Go
about
ahead,
this.
ladies.
Listen. I was in the elevator with the director one time in my department, and she didn't. She
She's
was
nice.
plain, and she wasn't. She hadn't combed. I mean, her hair was combed, but it wasn't combed, and she didn't have any makeup on. And you could tell she wanted to get in and out. And so I recognized that, and I didn't say anything to her, even though I knew who she was. She was a really pretty lady, and I'm like, huh, I'm in the elevator with the director, but I'm not going to say anything because she doesn't want to be seen today. And so respecting people, spaces, respecting people for where they are too, that also goes a long way because that shows the maturity in you when you are a person who, now come on, how many times for where we work, we're going to see the directors? Not very many. So that could have been a prime time to either talk to her or leave her right where she is and show her that I'm a mature person and respect where she is today. She wanted to get in and out. No time for small talk today. No time for chit chatting.
So that's just about being literate, reading the room, reading body language, reading how people react or what their emotional issues are, illuminating. So just making sure that you read in between the lines and you're very observant. That's also that's a very very helpful sense that you should develop as well.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rasha. I like the way you said that. So wait, so the next one, if time and money were no object, what is the difference you would want to make in this world? If money and
Ooh.
time were no object, for me, time is definitely an object. Money is definitely a thing. Oh my gosh, I guess I'm making no difference in the world. I'm gonna just have to leave it at that. But if it says, so this is hypothetically, right? This is hypothetically. If time and money were no object, what is the difference you would want to make in the world?
I see needs. I need
And actually, let's change that world around to workplace.
workplace. Okay.
What would your world look like within the workplace? Yeah.
I see needs for mentorship. I see need for just making sure that new hires have an understanding of how the place works. What are the what's the culture? What's acceptable? What's not acceptable? So time and money were no issue. I think I would try to provide some type of mentorship in the beginning so they can get a feel of this is what I need to do. This is my role in the organization. These are the business values, and this is what I would like to accomplish. So something to get them started to say, this is where I want my career to end futuristically, and have a mentor to assist them with getting acclimated to their position.
Mm-hmm. How
That's a
about you,
need.
Sakina?
Well, I was actually in this position.
You was in
because
what position, Sakina? To
because
make
I
a
worked
difference
with
in
the
the world.
elderly. Listen, I'm not saying it to be like that, but because I worked with the elderly, and unfortunately, we were in positions at time where the checks were late or what have you. I'm not trying to put that out there like that, but
There was a lot of it.
and so this was also during the time of marketing crashes and whatnot. And so being in my position, except money and the bottom line is that the elders had to be taken care of. So we had aides and what have you walking out, and so I came in to be cook.
Wow.
And I didn't get
That is
paid.
good. No, that's very
and so I've even taken money out of my check to pay people to come in and help, or buy lunches and X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna get into that, but because the money wasn't an issue, it was about the elders, the seniors.
Yes. Yeah.
And so yes, and I was a salaried employee, and so these meals had to be out at specific times, including snacks for 97 people.
Wow.
And yes, I've done it several days, even a week at a time. And I'm not saying I did it alone, but yes, because
Yeah,
it's
but you
not
were
a
the catalyst, the person who, who the out of the box thinker, right? Who came to the rescue of the elderly in the workplace that you were working for that time. And that does make all the difference in the world, right? It makes a difference in the world if one person steps out of their confines and say, hey, you know what? Forget about
There's a
waiting
need.
on and waiting and waiting and waiting. Let's do
well,
what
I
we
was
can
upper
right here,
management. You
right
see what I'm
now.
saying? I was upper management. This is the thing. And so, mind you, I'm HR and administrator HR. And so it's like I don't have time to look or what you can't find a cook and search
So
and
wait a
do that.
minute then. So then let's back up then. So then when that issue happened, you mean to tell me there was nobody to go up higher than you to help you out, to help them out with that paycheck situation? Or you're saying you were the only one available that day for that in that
With,
moment?
with the situation itself, there we were at a stuck. We were at a standstill. This was a
Okay, so when you
whole.
say we, you're
I'm
meaning
talking about the whole
other upper
organization.
management with you, or just you and people below you? Which one?
The
Like
whole thing for
when you say
hiring
we.
and seeking and staffing and all of that was me. Period.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So again, there is no other upper management to share in any of that.
No, that's
You were
solely my.
there's only one upper management, and you were it.
No, the other upper management, that's not their responsibility for any of that. That's solely me and my department only.
Okay. So the way that workplace environment worked, there's one upper management per department.
Exactly.
Okay. Following you. Got it.
Exactly.
And so you
Exactly.
made an executive decision to, instead of waiting for
How do
things
I
to come
wait?
through. Yeah.
How do I wait? You
So
can't.
instead of, well, everyone was going to wait no matter what, right? But
I cannot
instead
wait
of
to feed
waiting,
97 people when they have to.
right?
I have
And so this is
diabetes.
what I'm right. No. I get
Okay.
it when you sit and say it, when you sit and say that way, how do I wait? Right? Because again, so I'm reversing that and saying,
Okay.
instead of you waiting, you made an executive decision to act,
Exactly.
correct? Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because again, all it takes is one person with some vision to activate things. And I think we talked about the activator in some themes before. An activator is a person who gets things started with or without the permission in certain times. So if
Mhm.
you have an emergency situation, an activator is going to take charge of that situation and make sure that things are working as best they can at that
Right.
moment. Yeah. Yeah, I,
Oh,
I I totally get it. That's very commendable, sis. That you
oh,
would, I,
thank you. I'm
that you
happy.
had an out of the box type of thought process in that moment to say, "Hey, like you said, how do I wait to feed 97
Okay,
people?"
thank you. Because I'm like, what? How do I
Yeah.
act? Wait a minute.
Well,
I
Sakina, because
appreciate
because you're brand new to our verbiage and our language, right? So this is a
Okay, yeah.
conversation that, yeah, because this is all active workplace, right?
Right.
Active workplace language that we use during this particular show, a YouTube show.
Mhm.
So I
Okay,
get it. So that's why, I mean, I'm following you, sis. I got you.
thank you.
I
Thank you
got
so
you.
much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rasha, and then you're saying about mentorship, right? That you would like to have more people under the tutelage of others in the workplace. So is that under management, under which parts of your company do you find that you think mentorship would help in the best way?
Entry level. So when
Okay,
they
entry
first get
level.
in
Go ahead.
there, they're getting acclimated to, what their roles and responsibilities are, what their career path is going to, where their career path is going to go, what activities they need to participate in, what they need to do
Mm,
to make sure that they're going to move along. But a lot of times there's no information there, and you would have to try to go and research it for yourself. And so
Yeah.
I believe had we got that information, we be a lot further along than where we are. But thankfully, we were able to research and try to get stuff done for ourselves. And we had, the get up and go and try to, research it and try to see what's out there so that we can have opportunities, and that we were motivated to, motivate ourselves to aspire to. So I think that's really important. And I thought the seniors also have a soft place in my heart as well. I know that there are, we have an aging workforce. They're able to, do things for themselves. They're pretty close to retirement. They're living by themselves, and they need a place to where they can be, where there's people there, where they can continue to function and do the things that they need to do, and have security there with them, in their dwelling, or where they're staying. So that's important to
Mhm.
me as well.
You almost gave me chills when you said entry level. Ah, God, that
Yes.
gave me chills. That
Get
is,
them in the beginning and let them
man.
know what they need.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
a big need.
Yeah, because going into the workplace can be so scary when there's no help and no proper training. Oh
No
my
training, no
God.
help, no one there to assist you. And then, like the ones you say, you get them in this position, and then they try to act like they're, I don't know, beyond what the organization goals are, and they make a laughing stock of themselves and the person that brings them in, which is just terrible. Why would you even want
Mm.
to have that against this? Oh, this is so and so that so and so got hired. Why would you put yourself and that person in that predicament? You should be putting your best foot forward, especially if you're on probation.
Now I would tap the sit and say, now that's good. No, that was a juicy tidbit right there. You dropped the whole gem when you said that. But if I had time and money, if it was no object, I mean, for me, it would go to I would have to say, I would want to make sure that everyone understood intelligence over smart.
Mm,
Smart is prideful, and intelligence is something that we all are capable of having once
that's
you
right.
have the proper understanding. So, we have too many smart, prideful people at work,
Mm,
and I think that I would change that. I would change the dynamics in the culture. I would change the work culture if I could. I would definitely change it so that people understood emotional intelligence over
yes.
smart, smart and trying to be, seen, or, you know, all the things that don't make a difference when you know your work. Either you know your work or you don't. There's nothing smart and prideful about that. It's all intelligence, because the way you organize your work and get through your day
Mhm.
is, completely, it's something that, again, I would switch it right there. So
Like
the last question here, go ahead.
I was going to say, in all walks of life, there's always people who want to be seen. But if you can get the job done and be in the background and don't have to get the spotlight, you are a
Yeah,
rare find, and that's across
you
the board.
winning. Yeah, you're
If you can just do
winning,
your
right?
job and just melt into the environment, it's like, wow, it's
I
seamless.
swear.
So
I swear,
we,
you
we
are
we we don't
winning when
have
you're
to
like
be
that.
seen. And so a lot of times when we grow up, our talents and our beliefs and our light is
Mm.
diminished by those who are just trying to break those children, basically, where we have to go back and reconstruct, rebuild, get these things together so that we can understand this is what we are. This is what is intrinsically in my
Yeah,
DNA. This is what helps me to survive. This is my life. And I can use this to the
yeah.
best of its ability to get me to where I need to go, because it's a gift that's already inside of me. I don't have to cultivate it. It's there.
Well, you just answered the last question. That's important. And it's
Yeah.
probably not most important, but it's darn tootin' an important part, right? To fulfilling a life's purpose, right? Is to
Yeah.
not to be seen as smarter than the next person, but to
Mhm.
use an intelligence in how you're being seen. It's so very different. Smartness and intelligence are not the same thing. And when people are smart, they're prideful, and you can't get them to budge out of a lot of habits that is killing them in the workplace, killing them to find a job, locate a job, to get through that interview, to make it across that finish line so that you can get to the bag.
That's right.
Smart is not it. Intelligence is it. Intelligence includes strategy, planning, organization, self-control, self-awareness, self-regulation, right?
It's
Being
smart
mindful of
in
all of these things.
is a negative connotation. Smart, she got a smart answer, or person is a smart aleck. We don't use it that way, and most of the time we thinking of just this person is smart, but no, every action in most cases is learned activity. So just because they can work in Google, or they have this information that they know how to work on the computers, they were taught that. That's not something that you're smart at. That's something that you're taught. So excuse me. So when we say smart, a lot of times is negative.
Yes. And that's because a lot of the time smart is in a negative connotation. Because a lot of people who believe themselves to be smart are very prideful folk. And they will not use intelligence because they don't understand what intelligence encompasses. And sometimes intelligence is too much work. So I'll just be smart and have an attitude, and I'll be prideful and arrogant. And hey, I'll tell you and I'll show you how smart I am by proving this or that, when intelligence does not require you to prove
either. That's right. That is so true.
I think she froze for a second.
No. She's coming back. Let's see.
Yeah, I wanted to finish out so I can stem off of that, because that is really Yeah, you back.
You back. So if you're enjoying the corporate conversation, be sure to like, make a comment, and click on that notification button, and stay tuned for our most updated post.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to, if we're closing out, we're going to close out. Yeah, for sure. Because Sakina, what time are you going to do a show today?
Yeah, I got to call Dewey back because we're supposed to be doing the carnivals.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, and so I gotta call Dewey back to see what time we're coming on later. But I did want to hit off of this smart thing, because that's what I love about that wisdom, rocking that wise and that dumb, because you can't be so smart because nobody knows everything.
I can tell you nothing.
You right? Because you don't know it all. So even on the wiseness, because you don't know everything, that's that dumbness on the end. The balance of that wiseness is dumb, right? And to that is to say that you have to still respect your elders, right? Because they didn't know it all either, just because they were your elder. You see? And so that's why you have to, it comes back. And so now that you know, you say you can't teach them old dogs new tricks, but you can. But you still respect your elders. And that's where this respect and Kemet comes from. You see? So when this is what you're teaching in this belief. So and I heard somebody say in the Bible, they said when you see the Most High, you see me. And they was referring to Jesus. Okay. And so in this belief, this is our
Is this workplace related?
No, I'm finna get into it so I can close out. So
I'm just trying, sis, right? Because this is something upcoming. No, because this is something upcoming then as a bullet point for your show, right? That you're gonna
get into it. Yes,
Gemini, she gonna hit it and quit it.
Yeah, so when
Go
we got
ahead,
into
hit it.
this belief, we talking about our reputations. Okay,
Yeah.
and our reputations supersede ourselves
No, no, no,
because
no, 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 no,
no,
sis.
no,
When
no,
we are
no. Yes,
talking
yes.
about
Let me
belief,
get
we are
Let me
talking
say
about
this. Let me say this.
okay.
I'm talking about our reputations.
So
Why? Because our reputations are more than just this behavior at work. It's a behavior that people see preceding you, right? Before you even get to work, they see this. Why? Because this was part of the moral and compass and the values that your parents instilled in you. Why? Because they saw you, they saw your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They said, "Oh, Gemini, that's such and such. That's Shirley's daughter." Or I'm not trying to disrespect your mom. I just don't want to say that. That's Shirley's daughter, right? That's Ralph's daughter, and right. And if you did anything wrong, they made sure they let them know. Why? Because they knew they raised you better than that. Okay,
Girl,
so
she done
now,
took me back.
that
I'm
can,
hurt.
but
okay,
that
so
can, but that,
now
you know
this
what? But
reputation.
that can go with the belief thing. Yeah,
That
it can go
it
with the
is.
belief
There you go.
thing.
So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
Gemini got a reputation. So now, not only that, but your everything you did at school, your reputation was a cheerleader. Your reputation was was in all these book clubs. Your reputation was an honor roll student. Your reputation was this, that, and another. When you got to college, your reputation was this, that, and another. Now you at work, your reputation say this, that, and another, right? And you wasn't known for none of that. Okay, because now this platform and social media got a reputation of its own, but guess what? That ain't me, right? You might see me on the street, but you don't know me. Exactly. So now here we go. Now you got kids. You raise your kids on the
What are we?
same moral
We're gonna need.
value.
We're gonna need you to land pretty
I'm
soon,
landing
Sakina,
right
because
here.
that's why I was
So now your
asking you.
kids and everything
Was
else
this
about
a
your
talking point
reputation
for your
supersedes.
show? This is
Okay, no, this
exactly
is
why I
all
was
I'm
asking
landing
you. What
with.
are the talking points for your show? Okay,
No, this is
thank
all I'm
you.
saying is the reputation and how it follows. So if all of this is built on that, the behaviors and all of this, because it still goes hand in hand. So this is why it was all in that same systematic. Your reputation, the values and ethics and morals, and you pass it on to your kids. That's why you said the family beliefs, and all of these things are connected. And that's what made this thing a beautiful thing inside and out of workplace because of your morals, values, and ethics. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
why your reputation, and that's why I stayed with reputation because of the
Yeah,
connection.
absolutely.
And
Good
this is
point. No,
really deep.
that's a great point.
And
No,
that's
I don't
like,
want to sit here and minimize that point. That's a great point, right?
no,
That's a great point
no,
because in
that's
the
what I wanted to
beginning,
stay on.
yeah, in the beginning of the show, right? I think we started it off, Rasha, with that circle, right? That said or the definition, it said that people with a strong belief in their theme were family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
That was the word, that was the verbiage that it used. They were
Strong
family oriented.
family, community.
Yeah. Community.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
They have their
Exactly.
own
No, but
political beliefs.
this has been a good build. Sakina, is there anything else that we should be looking for in your show today? And what time, sis, is it gonna come on?
I'm figuring probably about 4:30 like last week. I'm finna contact Dewey now. This is my guy, son. I gotta
Okay.
calm down because
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So four,
I'm
so
sorry
four,
for a wonderful show.
4:30. We're gonna meet all back on the Smoking Conversations platform with Sakina-Ra. And Sakina, do you have any particular topic? You said you and Dewey were gonna be talking about
The carnivals.
Carnival.
His
Yes,
vacation. Yes,
Carnival.
his
And he has
vacation
lots of
carnival.
great pictures too.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Now, are you guys
Yes.
going to put it historical? Are y'all going to talk about it historically, or are you going to talk about it the historical parts of how Carnival was
This is gonna
created
be
and why,
Dewey's.
and the
This is
people?
gonna be about. This is all about Dewey. Dewey's gonna do the
Okay.
presentation of
Okay.
his vacation and carnival. So if he's gonna do it historically, or is he gonna just talk about it empirically, about which one and whichever one, and we just going for the ride. We going first class.
Yes.
Come on up in the sky. First class. Dewey and why? Hey,
Oh my, I
All right.
absolutely love it. I can't wait because because Dewey's slideshow is so, it's so good, Rasha. It is
All right.
Yes.
so good. It really is. The pictures are the bomb.com. So I cannot wait. And so with that, Rassha, you have any other words before we close out?
No, just to continue to be consistent, to definitely show up, to present your best self, and to work with others and try to keep the peace in the workplace. There's no need for negativity. There's work-life balance. You can do everything you want to do. You just have to put everything in its own perspective. And when you're dealing with a person with beliefs, make sure you acknowledge their beliefs. Don't berate their beliefs. Just acknowledge it and be respectful.
That part.
Absolutely. Well said, sis. And with that, our next for next week, our next one is going to be um not command. Hold on.
Arranger.
The
Arranger.
arranger.
We,
Yes,
we did
yes,
it out of we
yes.
did it out of the book, but Arranger is next. So those of you who
Yes,
like to
the arranger.
arrange or get everything started,
Multitask.
multitasking,
No.
pulling the groups together,
Multitasking
putting the products
machines.
in place, this is the attribute for you or the theme for you next week.
Come on.
Okay. And with that said, y'all, see you next week.
See you next
And let's see if
week.
this actually